Okay, picture this. You're a soldier out on patrol in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden you start hearing what sounds like wailing ghosts coming from across the border. No, that's not the start of a horror movie. That's a real accusation at the very heart of a tense standoff between Thailand and Cambodia. So let's break down this absolutely bizarre story of ghosts, lies, and loudspeakers. All right, so let's just jump right into the detail that makes this whole thing so incredibly strange. This quote, this is from a formal complaint filed by Cambodia's Human Rights Commission. They are officially claiming that Thai military units are broadcasting these super eerie sounds across the border, and they're doing it specifically at night. So, this is the big question, right? What are we actually looking at here? Is this just some kind of twisted prank between soldiers who are bored out of their minds, or is this a calculated, serious act of psychological warfare in a region that's already on edge? As we're about to see, the answer is, well, it's not that simple. Now, this isn't just some rumor spreading around the barracks. Oh no. The sound of these so-called ghosts has echoed all the way to the United Nations. Let's trace how this formal complaint went from a remote border outpost straight to the world stage. The way this thing really blew up was thanks to Cambodia's very powerful former leader, Hun Sen. He took this letter, which was addressed to the UN's top human rights official, and he posted it directly on his public Facebook page for everyone to see. So you gotta understand, this wasn't some quiet diplomatic note. This was a very loud, very public move to put Thailand on blast. And look, this is being treated as way more than just a noise complaint. Cambodia is framing this as a grave violation of human rights. They're arguing that these sounds are a deliberate form of psychological intimidation designed to cause fear and anxiety, and that it threatens to completely unravel a very, very fragile peace. And that brings us to the context, because you might be wondering, why now? This whole ghost thing isn't happening in a vacuum. It's happening just months after both countries agreed to stop fighting in one of the worst border clashes they've seen in more than a decade. This timeline really shows you just how delicate the whole situation is. Leading up to the summer, things were escalating back and forth until it just erupted into the worst fighting in years. Then, in July, Malaysia steps in and helps broker an immediate and unconditional ceasefire. For a couple of months, it was quiet. And then October hits, and suddenly there are ghosts on the border. 38? That's how many people died in the fighting right before that ceasefire was called. So this isn't some theoretical argument or a harmless prank. This is a conflict with a very real, very recent body count. And the impact went way beyond the front lines. Over 300,000 civilians were forced to pack up and run from their homes because of the violence. That ceasefire was supposed to bring some stability back for these exact communities, the same people now allegedly being blasted with these terrifying sounds at night. But, as is usually the case with these big international disputes, there are two sides to this story. While Cambodia is understandably focused on the loudspeakers, Thailand has its own pretty serious accusations that actually sparked the fighting in the first place. So here they are, the two conflicting stories side by side. On one hand, Cambodia is saying the Thai military is using wailing ghost sounds to psychologically intimidate them. On the other hand, Thailand is saying, hold on a minute, claiming Cambodia is the real aggressor here because they're laying new landmines along that same border. And Thailand's claim isn't just talk. They are reporting that since that July ceasefire went into effect, at least 6 of their soldiers have been maimed by landmine explosions. This is the proof they point to as ongoing aggression from the Cambodian side. So what's Cambodia's response to that? Well, they flatly deny it. They say they are absolutely not laying any new mines. Their official story is that Thai soldiers are tragically stepping on old explosives left over from Cambodia's devastating civil war, which, left it one of the most heavily mined countries on Earth. It just adds this whole other layer of tragic history to what's happening today. Okay, so you have both sides making these incredibly serious accusations and a ceasefire that feels like it could break at any moment. So what happens next? This is where the international community has to step in, because the stakes here are unbelievably high. So you've got several international players trying to keep things from boiling over. Malaysia was absolutely critical in getting that ceasefire in the first place. The U.S. also put on the pressure, with the Trump administration at the time warning that important trade talks would be put on hold if the fighting didn't stop. Now, all eyes are on the regional group, ASEAN, with everyone hoping a formal peace deal can finally get done at their next summit. And all of this leaves us with this final, really tough question. In a conflict where one side is accusing the other of weaponizing ghosts, and the other is pointing to the very real danger of hidden landmines, what does peace even look like? It's a pretty powerful reminder that to truly resolve a conflict, you need more than just a signature on a piece of paper. You have to rebuild trust, even in the most difficult and truly bizarre circumstances.